Hi guys, this is Lucy Kim from the Peer Tutoring Club, and this year we're going to go through the biology. I will be teaching biology in 5 different units, and the first unit is what is biology, and second unit is basic components, and third unit is organ, and the fourth unit is cellular activities, and fifth unit is cellular respiration. Also, if I think I also need to add more concepts or basic explanations, then I'm also going to add more several units during the semester. First, let's go through the first unit. The first unit is what is biology. In this unit, we'll be learning about what concepts we need to know for learning biology and also some basic knowledges that we need to have to understand the biology. So first, what is science? The goal of science is to investigate and understand the natural world. And we need to know that science deals only with the natural world. Scientists are the people who collect and organize information in a careful, orderly way, looking for patterns and connections between events. Also, scientists propose explanations that can be tested by examining evidence. Fourth, science is an organized way of using evidence to learn about the natural world. So how is science done? Science begins with an observation. So easy way to explain. In science, we usually observe information through experiments. To be more specific, we observe data from the experiment. And here, there are 2 types of data: quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data are based on numbers and are obtained by counting or measuring. Qualitative data are descriptions and involve characteristics that cannot be counted. So in an easy way to explain, quantitative data are numbers observed through the experiment, and qualitative data are descriptions and characteristics that are observed by the experiment. Then the next concept is hypothesis. So a hypothesis must be stated in a way that makes the experiment testable, and the hypothesis is a possible answer to a question, and it must be thoroughly tested. So in biology, we usually uses if and then structure. So for example, we say if you drop a ball, then it will fall toward the ground. So this statement should be stated before the experiment, and we should get the answer after observing the data or after the experiment. Now let's move on to biology. Biology is the study of life. This study of life ranges from the very simple one-celled organisms to the very complex multicellular organisms. And biology contains certain themes, and they're divided in 6 different concepts. First, cell structure and function. Second, stability and homeostasis. Third, reproduction and inheritance. Fourth, evolution. Fifth, interdependence of organisms. 6. Matter, energy, and organization. So now let's go through the first theme, which is cell structure and function. The cell is the basic unit of life. All living organisms are composed of cells. There are 3 different types of cell structure and organization, which includes unicellular, multicellular, and colonial. A unicellular organism is a single-celled organism, such as bacteria, amoeba, Promacea, and yeast. Colonial organisms are unicellular organisms that live together in groups. So, for example, they have Volvox or Siphonophore. So, colonial organisms usually have no relationship to each other. And also, there are no specialization or differentiation. Now, let's go through multicellular organisms. A multicellular organism consists of a group of specialized cells that live and work together. There is a very high level of differentiation and also cell specialization and coordination of cellular activities. They have cell specialization, which is the evolutionary adaptation of a cell or group of cells to carry out one particular function. Now let's go through the levels of cellular organization. And this continues from the previous section. First is tissue. Tissue is a group of similar cells all performing a similar activity. So for example, we can think about muscle tissues and also nervous tissues. Second, organs are a group of tissue functioning as a unit performing the same function. Organ includes heart, lung, stomach, liver, kidney, skin, and more. Next is the organ system. Organs work out together to form systems. As an example for the organ systems, they include like muscular system or nervous system or endocrine system and more. And here, various organ systems work together to compose a multicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms has advantages and also disadvantages. The advantage of cell specialization is that cells can carry out only one function, and a cell that carries out only one function can be much more efficient at that one job. But the disadvantage of cell specialization is that the cells are dependent upon one another. So if one group of cells fails to do its job, then other will perish. There are many different types of cells, but they are alike in several ways. They're surrounded by a membrane. They contain genetic information, DNA or RNA, that is a set of instructions for making new cells and new cell parts. Now let's go through the second theme, which is stability and homeostasis. Cells must be able to maintain very stable internal environments. So all cell processes must be very carefully regulated, and homeostasis is the internal balance that a cell must maintain. So for an example, for the homeostasis, we can think about we sweating and then our body suddenly tries to lower down our body temperature so that we can make our body temperature stay. Now let's go through the theme of reproduction and inheritance. Reproduction. All organisms should reproduce new organisms like themselves. So all organisms pass their genetic information to their offspring in the form of DNA. And gene is a short segment of DNA that is the instructions for a single trait or characteristics. Now let's go through the next theme, which is reproduction and inheritance. So sexual production is offspring that are produced by the joining together of DNA from two parents. The egg of one parent joins with the sperm of the other parent to reproduce a zygote. And asexual reproduction is a theme that offsprings are produced by only one parent. All offsprings are exact copies of the parent. Now let's look at the last theme, which is evolution. To evolve means to change over time. Scientists study evolution in order to understand how all different organisms that live on Earth today came to be. And this evolution is the result of natural selection. Organisms with favorable characteristics are more likely to survive and reproduce. And here, favorable characteristics might include the ability to catch food and the ability to be well camouflaged, or even the ability to withstand harsh environmental conditions. So when these organisms reproduce, they will pass down their favorable characteristics to their offsprings. But if an organism is not well suited to its environment, then it is unlikely that it will be reproduced and live. Since different genes are being passed on to offsprings, organisms change over time. And this was all for today, and hope this video reached out really helpful to you guys, and hope you see you next time. If you also have any questions, then you can just send me through emails or Google Chat. Thank you. See you next time.